Okay, so the audio should be fixed now, and something's gone weird with my H4n Pro. But with that said, everyone, I have to make this video over again to emphasize and talk about how I won my case against John Herrera that was once working for Porchlight back in 2019, and I have a current EEOC discrimination case against my former employer for abuse of power and also allowing the strange behavior at Porchlight to continue into this day. And to this day, I still get phone calls from guests when you're coming back because it's not the same. But anyway, guys, I want to talk about how John made a mistake hiring a high power attorney, which cost him everything. Uh, it wasn't the greatest idea to hire an attorney in the first place, so take that with a grain of salt. He knew that he was going to lose this case. He knew that he had no evidence against me because he was making claims, but he had nothing. But recently, this past week, I uploaded some very special content that could and possible might get me a community strike on YouTube. I'm only using this video as a direction for legal purposes only. I just want to have an archive of it somewhere else. I'm not showing it to an audience. I'm just having it unlisted. It's because the fact that it shows you what was going on in Porchlight. It shows you who was doing what drugs were sold between staff and guests that were coming in the shelter. You saw the favoritism between staff and guests, how staff would bully, like Jim was one of the staff members there, that would bully a blind man named Lionel Lewis. And how me and Jim got into it was the fact that I gave Lionel Lewis an option to file a grievance, and not just one grievance, two grievances, and he threatened me because I'm doing my job. Same thing with John, and this is Porchlight's fault too. Porchlight had a lot of responsibility behind this because the director of the shelter should not told John that I was supposed to train John. And I didn't get no letter from Service Point Certification. I didn't get no letter from the state of Wisconsin telling me that, oh, we need you to also train individuals that are coming into Porchlight. That was not actually my job description. That was the director's job description, to train him. He did not want to comply. He thought that was an insult, and he thought that was disrespectful because he thought he was smarter than me. And it's not about being smarter than me. It's about a community workplace that we should also work together to help better address homelessness and help families get into housing and give those statistics. Those statistics were out of control, by the way. The paperwork, when I got there, was all over the place. So I did what other agencies would do. Serial number, case number, the date of entry when they first came into the shelter. All that is on document, printed, stamped, labeled in order based by case number. That was not presented or done at Porchlight. I had to do all these paperwork, which you can see on my computer. In the past, you have seen me show you all my incident reports or all the work I was supposed to do. And in February, that's when I decided, after all the problems kept continuing to happen with staff and lots of threats from staff, and even the director of the shelter throwing me under the bus, when I needed his help from protection from John, he told staff that he didn't give me permission to hide out in the shelter because John likes to stalk people. But anyway, so I just uploaded a few content that emphasizes a lot of that and a lot of those problems. And now, Portrait has to explain to themselves, can you explain to the ESC what is that in the video? Is that a staff member possessing illegal substance inside the shelter and then dealing it? Yes, it is. Are there staff there stealing food from these homeless men? Yes, there is. You can see it on video. And on Porchlight's video, too. They do this every time. Now, I was suspended for misuse of keys and calling someone monkey, which never happened. John This is why I have Officer Vang have John admit that he was lying about the whole monkey situation from the very beginning and everything else. This is why he submitted this weekend, realizing that he wasn't going to win this case. Because this case, right now, he knows that it's not sitting well with him. But anyway, guys, I was suspended for misuse of keys when you have shelter managers abusing their own power. I had a blind individual, Lionel Lewis, will always get insulted by Jim. This is why me and Jim had it out. And in the report, I come downstairs to clock out. He tells me, next time you put my name in anything, I know where to find you. I know where you live. Those exact words. And know he did? The very next day, he spoke to the director of the shelter. The director of the shelter came to me and said he admitted it. He didn't care. And he's racist. These white people? No. We are people in period. It's not about white, black, Asian, green, purple. I'm sorry, but you have shelter staff very discriminatory towards Caucasian Americans. Like, what is this? This is why the place is toxic. For John's sake, I hope this is a lesson to be learned. In the future, do not discriminate. Do not call immigration police on people. Do not follow people home. Do not harass people. Do not stalk people. Because that's what you were doing. And it got you on camera, bro. And that's the thing. You weren't too smart enough to think about what I was going to do as a documentarian, as a photographer. And this is why Porchlight missed the point. I'm a photographer and documentarian. I'm going to document everything that happens. So be aware that if I present evidence and you say, oh, we wasn't aware of that, well, that's not my fault. Maybe you should pay attention to social media sometime. And first and foremost, that mediation meeting should never took place. Kim Sutter should not have been there. HR should have been there. Daniel Barnes should have been there. Not Kim Sutter. She is the director of services. She is not HR. She did not hire me. Why was she there? This is why at the EEOC mediated meeting, they didn't know how much I was being paid in salary. Stupid. You should have that already presented. Why you do not know that? Why do I have to present that? You should know that. When the mediator asks you, the employer, a question, oh, we don't have that in front of us right now. The lawyer didn't seem very prepared at all. But again, this shows that Porchlight is just trying to blame someone else for their mistakes. Or trying to pin it on me. They're trying to find anything to pin on me. Including trying to accuse me of stealing a donation that I gave them. Mind you, what about the donation money that I donated? Or the donations that were stolen from me on Christmas Day? Everybody remembers that. I bought $200 and almost $300 worth of Minio sandwiches and pops and drinks and chips. And I wasn't even supposed to be working on Christmas Day. These men needed someone to care for them. And here comes Preston, stealing food that I purchased. Oh, I took 3. Dude, but I told Preston, but I only had enough for who we had. I got the exact number. For that reason. 138 sandwiches for that reason. Because we had 127 the night before that checked in the shelter. So, with that said, that's stealing too. But in our policy, we're not supposed to give out gifts and stuff like that. Well, I'm sorry that I'm being such a human being. That's your policies at Porchlight. You have some very, very strict policies, which I do understand, but some of those strict policies, one of them is about you cannot conduct outside work with a client that's involved with porch light. Even if you see the person at UW waterfront, you cannot engage. That's bullshit. Now you're taking my human rights away. And this is the problem. This is why the staff took advantage of these weak, lame policies at Porchlight. They knew they weren't ever going to get in trouble, but they didn't meet me yet. I love Madison. I have always supported businesses in Madison and everyone in Madison. But the one thing I always tried to support was Porchlight. And the one thing now I know, I'm never going to support Porchlight in the rest of my entire life. You know what they told me when COVID hit? I bought a box of freaking masks with my own money. You can read this in the email, which I did demonstrate it. You can read this in the email, it's in the video. The exclusive director told me to not give them out. First and foremost, I'm off duty. First and foremost, we don't have masks at the facility when COVID hit. Yes, Porchlight was very, very unprepared for this for the first 2 weeks. I went out my way to buy masks. They told me not to give them out. So what I did, I gave them anyway, off duty. I'm sorry, I didn't know you pay my other salary because Porchlight, you're not paying me enough. That job was the most dangerous job in Madison. I've got threatened at that table 5 times. I got the table thrown at me, and Kim Sutter wanted to let Isaiah Thomas back in the shelter after there's a state restraining order from him stating that he can't come on UW property where I work. He can't come to Porchlight property, period. And you wanted to let him back in. That shows you that you don't care for me or your employees. You're supposed to be the director of the services. I have nothing against you, but the way you treated me as if I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about when Preston was doing very, very toxic things towards me and towards guests. Kayla, the young monk girl that was working there for a very short time, felt very abused by Preston picking on her because, first of all, she ran the wrong jersey? So you're going to tell her she's not properly dressed? I saw nothing wrong. You don't tell any of those Caucasian students, you don't tell any of the students at UW not to wear winter leggings and a football jersey so long that it probably was her husband's. She's showing a little bit too much. She wasn't showing anything. You can't see anything. She had layers underneath. Come on, man. That's why she never returned back to work. Because of that. She felt like it wasn't the job for her. I feel bad for her. Her first experience, and not only that, you men at the shelter don't give women enough confidence. Telling her, oh, these are men, I'm sorry, I met women stronger than men that can beat the crap out of you. Hands down. And yes, they are lighter than you, shorter than you, and then the fact that like these women are powerful, and you guys feel like you guys have to take it upon yourself to tell her these men they will do this. I'm pretty sure she's an adult. She didn't pick this job. First and foremost, she didn't pick the job out of nowhere. I think she has some experience dealing with people. Common sense would have told you that. But you wanted to pick on her clothing attire, and I noticed that, and I was recording that at the front desk. I called her one day. She calls and says, "Oh, I'm not coming in. I don't want that job. That man at the shelter, the director, he's not very friendly towards me. I feel like he doesn't like my clothing. She's Hmong, and she's wearing American clothing." Like I said, Preston Patterson is kind of biased in a lot of ways. Very discriminatory. You know, let women wear what they want to wear. That's their right. They paid for it, but she did not show up to work inappropriately in any attire that I saw. So with that said, everyone, Panda here. And it's been a journey, but I won my case against John, but now I have to present this case to EEOC so I can win my EEOC case now. Because now I feel like I want to upload a little bit more content about porch light. And I believe that's why John made a decision to end his wrath of terror towards me. He must have saw it because he's watching my content. Sorry, but listen, I came to Porchlight to do a job. Not to be harassed, not to be discriminated against, not to be punked by some punk. I did everything legally, and that's why you're mad. And this is why Porchlight is mad. I did everything legally, and now they're trying to pin stuff on me. You're trying to pin stuff that doesn't exist. First and foremost, there's an email that stated about that donation, but my Turkish friend came over and donate that money. You clearly see me on camera putting in an envelope. You clearly see me wrote an email stating I put the money in the envelope. But you know what they're going to try to say? When I was talking to the guy, he gave me the money, I put it in the back pocket. They're going to use that clip, that 5-second clip, but they're not going to watch the rest of it. You see me walk in the office, talk to Darnell, she gets furious, she calls Preston. I feel like she wanted that money, wanted me to do other stuff, because the way she talked to me, like, hey, what are you going to do with it? I'm giving it to Porchlight. I said that out loud, because the microphone was there. And then she started like saying something about Jamie. But this happened to Jamie before. No, this is different. What happened to Jamie, she had that right. That was a friend. That friend came over to the sister. That's personal. This is why Porchlight is getting involved too much in people's personal lifestyles. I cannot bring my family. What guy? One guy said that when you get porch housing with Porchlight, you cannot bring family or friends over. That means you pay your rent. You're paying your rent like normal renters are doing. But Porchlight says you cannot bring your families over to hang out or sleep over. Then why am I fighting so hard to rent a place? And that's why I didn't understand. This is why most of these guys didn't want to participate in a housing program. Because you're not just also violating their privacy rights, but their personal lifestyles with their family. They want to bring their families over. They want to show off. You know, accomplishments are good to show off. And you tell them they can't have family sleepovers? I find that very disturbing. I cannot have guests over. I'm paying rent though. I don't see that plausible. But with that said, everyone, I'm Panda. I just fixed my audio. I wanted to make sure that the audio is working this time. I do apologize for the first video that was posted, because I didn't realize the video had so much static noise. He was trying to... Hero Shot says that he was trying to use that footage as usual. Yeah, he was trying to use a lot of things. John was trying to use a lot of things to his advantage, not knowing that it doesn't work the way he thought it would work. But like I said, guys, this whole pandemic situation financially, let me turn down ISO. Okay. It has financially cost me a lot. If you guys want to financially help me try to recover some, I have the PayPal, the Cash App, which is easy. Many people have said, dude, this is easier than PayPal. What? all you have to do is like enter the person's phone number or put the amount into the phone number, send it to them, and they got it. If you send a couple more money over $300, you have to enter your social, your last 4 digits of your social or your ITSN number, your information, because they don't want to make sure that it's for fraud. But with that said, everyone, yeah, I have financially spent so much, and my parents are financially worried that I might end up in a place that I might not recover from again. So yeah, and they're trying their best to get me back into Osaka. That's the plan. Since I'm not able to, since employment in Vancouver will be postponed to 2021, the best thing is probably to go back to back to Osaka, hang out with my parents for maybe 6 months, see how Japanese life is there. And I kind of want to go to the countryside because there's a fireworks festival going on that was going on. I missed out. You have to go all the way on the countryside. Um, you can get there from Tokyo by Shinkansen train. So, yeah, I wanted to go, but yeah, I got a lot of plans, a lot of things I wanted to do, and I think if I am going back to Japan, I think that you guys probably will be like, "Whoa, the content just flipped. You went from United States to Japan again. What is going on? You're flipping the content." And this is what hurts my channel when I'm traveling so much and I'm not in one location. This hurts it hurts the algorithm on my channel too. And I realized that because, you know, it always asks for updates. Google AdSense always asks for updates, change of location because it knows where I am. Creepy. Creepy. But with that said, everyone, I ooh, gotta bump the ISO again. Gotta play ISO war with this Cloud and Sons. But like I said, guys, I tried to do this video earlier. The audio was static, so I did it once more. It's the H4n. It was doing some weird stuff. I hit it hard and it stopped. But yeah, financially it just cost me, guys. But I'm happy now that John Herrera has now admitted to the charges into the fine. So that goes to show you that I was right the whole entire time, and shows you that I only tried to make sense and try to help people, and I really wanted to help people, and I really emphasize, guys, help people. If you see something wrong on the streets, come to that person's defense. I'm not saying be a hero, put your life on the line, but and I know sometimes that is a scary moment to try to do something because I know it's in all of us. We all have the potential of it. I know you guys have that feeling when you want to do something, but you're afraid you might get hurt. I'm not saying put the fear to the side, but this is why I think everyone should prepare when you want to defend someone. Always get a third party, because when you built a wall, a defense wall, it's as stronger as anything else. Now, Trump, I want to see you build that wall of a community. I doubt it. But anyways, as I was saying before, like, always get other people that you see that want to get involved. Like, hey, you want to help them? Yeah, let's do this. Doesn't matter. Doesn't care what sex orientation you are, where you're from. Please, you only have one life. Live that shit to the moment. It's a good life. You get to see beautiful people. You get to see beautiful cars. You get to play with toys like this. I love toys. I love camera toys. I'm just a sucker for it. But yeah, you get to see dogs walking down the street. You get to see beautiful people. You even probably see a girl or two that you may want to maybe talk to. Like, oh my goodness, oh my panda, where you been all my life? You know, why cause harm when you can have a good, stable life and not do anything bad? Don't do anything criminal. Don't go out there to stop. Don't do what the people have been doing for the last couple of months, going out there rioting, destroying car parking lots full of cars. What the cars did to you? They're not racist. They're machines. But with that said, everyone, I'm Panda. I'm going to get out of here. As I said, I won this first case. Now it's time to win the EEOC. Let's see what that has to present itself, because I have to now wait for these documents from the DA so I can send them to the EEOC so they can get a whiff of like, oh, whoa, he won. I didn't have to break a sweat. I got too late. I broke so much sweat from this and so much stress and anxiety that it literally should. The state of Wisconsin, Porchlight, should pay for all my suffering damages. I could be in Wisconsin still right now if none of this happened. I'm serious. I have people there that really want me to return. Help them out with some projects. I got Francisca Wan from MorrisRamen. I would love to do some work with her. Some food work. Because, I'm hungry too. But yeah. And she has been supporting me. And I support her. She supported me. It's a family relationship. And this is what I like about being part of a bigger audience. But YouTube doesn't see that I'm ready for that. Obviously, you ain't ready for your YouTube because you have most of your content creators bashing out back at you for what you were doing to MXR. Really sickening that you keep attacking that YouTube channel, that cute little couple. Come on. They're just trying to bring... What YouTube lacks is humor. Seriously. We, as content creators, have humor. But YouTube doesn't see it. They see it as community strike. Community strike again. Copyright strike. We got you. For bringing humor to a pandemic situation. You're trying to get people to not think about what is going on in the real world. Getting them off track because it's stressing people out. They try to bring funny videos and laughter, and you're striking them. You also strike me too. Goes to show you. Like I said, I might get a community strike for the content that I post about Porchlight. There's video of what was going on in Porchlight. And I think if you're not showing it to anyone, you shouldn't get a strike for it. Honestly. This is just my record. I hope YouTube understands that. I hope YouTube understands that this is justice that needs to be served. You cannot let this type of crime go unpunished. People are abusing their power at work. There's been discrimination towards guests and staff. And you can clearly see in the email, in my past email, about my evidence, discrimination in the workplace. When I explicitly said, I was told it's time to maybe you should go back to Japan or China, wherever you come from. That's rude. I'm not from China. I'm not from Japan either. I'm a Zambian. I'm African, you dumb shit. Sorry for the language, but it is true. French and Zambian. Maybe you should take the time out and go visit. I don't know. But with that said, everyone, 30 minutes into this video, and I'm happy to report that I'm winning. And I hope you win too. It's Monday. If you guys want to support the channel, please do. But I got to get out of here. I got to get going. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. But thank you for watching. Thank you for listening in. And please, fight for what's right. Fight for everyone's rights. This country used to be a great country. Let's let that happen again for everyone's sake. With that said, eat, sleep, photography, videography, and justice, and repeat. And I'll see you guys in the next video. You guys take care of yourselves. Happy shooting.